everything you need to know about setting up your LLC the right way. If you don't do this correctly, this could be the difference between you losing out on hundreds of thousands of dollars in funding and paying thousands in tax liabilities. I'm not here to waste any more of your time, so let's get right into it. This is MTV. The M is for Miggle, money, motivation. Let's jump in. Before we jump in, make sure to stick to the very end because I actually got a super surprise tip at the end that's going to save you thousands of dollars on opening your LLC and can also get you some more funding. So stick around. All right, I am super excited to get into this topic, how to open up an LLC the right way. So I'm about to drop a lot of game on you guys. We're going to be talking about, why open up an LLC in the first place? What are the benefits? Number two, what states are the best ones to open and why? And then we're going to get into talking about NAICS codes. What are they and why are they important and how to structure it correctly? And then lastly, I'm going to walk you through on how to actually create one step by step. So make sure to stick to the very end for that because I have a method that's going to save you thousands of dollars on it. So let's jump into it. 4 reasons why you need to open up your LLC. Number 1 is because you want to be able to legitimize your business and have credibility and branding. That's what an LLC does, is once they see that you're actually registered, they're not going to see you as some rinky-dink little company that's here to play games. Like, you are about the business and you are legit. The second reason why you want to open up an LLC is for the tax write-offs. This is absolutely huge because you're legally allowed to write up losses for up to 5 years. And these tax expenses could be for anything every day that you use. You could write off some of your home for an office space. You could write off some of your depreciating car that you use every day for your taxes if it's for your business purposes. If everyone's got a laptop, Wi-Fi, phone services, you could write all that off. This is stuff you already use. So by not having an LLC, even if you don't actually plan on creating a successful business, sorry, I'm trying to make sure I choose my words carefully so I don't get in any trouble. But even if the business isn't super profitable and you're trying to create a business, you could write off a lot of your everyday expenses onto the LLC and just say you took a loss. So let's take this for example. Let's say you have a W-2 job, right? You're getting paid $100K a year. You start up this LLC that's taking on a lot of your everyday expenses. Like I mentioned, some of your rent for the office space, your car depreciating, your phone bill, your Wi-Fi, because that could all be considered business expenses. Let's say that's a total of like $20K in total expenses. Now your W-2 job on your taxes is really going to report that you only made $80K because you lost $20 on the business. You do that for 5 years. That's $100,000 over 5 years that you're not going to be having to pay taxes on $100,000. That's absolutely insane. So look into that. Again, I'm not a tax strategist, so make sure you consult with one, but these are awesome little tips and tricks you could use and benefits just by having an LLC. Number 3 reason why you want to open up an LLC is simply to protect your personal assets from any potential business liabilities. It's a limited liability company and it gives you protection. So here's an example. Let's say someone tries to sue you from your business. You don't have to pay out of any of your personal income because that is completely separate from your LLC. Your personal versus LLC limited liability company limits your liability as a company and just sticks it only with that business. So protect your personal assets. Don't let it get tied up with any potential business liabilities. If you're like a sole prop and you get in trouble, then yeah, you are gonna have to pay out of your personal income. 4th and final reason why you need to open up your LLC, like open it up already. But the 4th and final one is to get access to funding. That is what I specialize in. I help people fix their FICO so they could get funding. And the more access to funding you have, the more opportunities you get. Put your eggs in so many different baskets to make income instead of just relying on your W-2 income job. So open up the LLC, and now you could get access to hundreds of thousands of dollars in funding. If you're not already sold on opening up an LLC, I don't know what else to tell you, so get the heck out, because none of the other stuff I'm gonna tell you even matters. But now that we know why we need to open it up in LLC, let's talk about what are the best states to actually open your LLC in. 3 major factors you wanna take into consideration before you open up your LLC and deciding which state you want to open it in. So the first thing and most important thing is the state business friendly? You know, you got places like California, which is horrible to businesses. So that's probably not the best place that you want to open up your LLC, just because their laws with businesses aren't the most supportive. Number 2 is the state tax friendly? Again, California is probably the worst place to open up a business because they are taxed at the highest rate. So avoid that if you can. And number 3, this is going to be a big determining factor, is location. Really, you know, I'm from California. I have an LLC in California, and I also have an LLC in Wyoming. So the location specifically matters if your income is tied directly to that state. So for example, one of my LLCs is based out of California, and I can't do it to another state because that business is for Airbnb arbitrage, and the income is directly coming out from California. Now, my other LLC, Motive Miggle, the one I'm promoting here now that I help people all across the US for fixing their FICO and getting them funding, that's structured out in Wyoming because it does pass all those tests. Wyoming is business friendly, it's tax friendly, and a great location because it sums up all of those. So because this business is online and it's not directly tied to California, now it's a good idea to file it in Wyoming. They gave you one of the best states to open up an LLC in is Wyoming. The other 2 are Delaware and Nevada. These states all pass that check. They have great business friendly laws, they're tax friendly, great location, and some of them even have anonymity laws. Basically, that means, you know, your information as the CEO or owner is gonna be protected. So nobody could tie your name to that business. So now that we're sold on setting up an LLC, and now we know what states to look for to actually open up the LLC, let's talk about what are NAICS codes. A lot of people don't know what it is, but NAICS, that stands for North American Identification Classification System. It's a lot of big jargon, but basically all you need to know what the NAICS significance is basically this is how you are determining the industry your LLC operates in. The reason why this is important is because banks look at what your NAICS code is. That code determines your level of risk depending on the industry you work in. So what are some bad industries to be labeled as? You never want to be labeled as something with automotive sales, money lending and collecting, travel industry, real estate investing, anything like that, because all those types of industries have a lot of high risk and overhead. And if that industry has high risk, the bank's not going to want to spend too much money in lending you out any. Okay, now I know what not to do. Which industries do I classify myself? Good question. So the industries I always recommend with people that are low overhead and are considered lower risk, get that maximum funding, are industries like consulting, marketing and advertising, e-commerce. All those businesses are very low overhead and low risk, so your odds to getting funding are going to be a lot higher. Oh man, my LLC is considered a higher risk. I guess I'm never going to get any funding. That's what you might be thinking, but in reality, there's always a will and there's always a way to get around something. So if your business is considered a higher risk, the best way to overcome that hurdle is when you're setting up your LLC, have a general name. Don't have anything like, I don't know, Miggles Real Estate Investing or Miggles Automotive Sales in the name. Don't make it super obvious that it's in that high risk business. Make sure the name is very general. And number 2 is make the business description as generic as possible, so you're not using language that makes them believe that it's a higher risk business. So for my business with humbleabode.us, that's my Airbnb arbitrage business. Instead of making it real estate, I labeled it as consulting and marketing because technically I don't own any of these properties. and I'm actually more focused on marketing it. And because I labeled it as marketing and consulting and use that as the business description, I also changed the name from Humble Abode Homes just to humbleabode.us. And now it's a lot generic and doesn't let them think that, oh no, this is a high risk business, we don't want to give them funding. So we made it to the fourth and final step. Thank you guys so much for sticking with me so far. If you've gotten any value from this at all, make sure to drop a follow, like, and subscribe. I really appreciate it. I do this all for free to help you guys out, so anything helps. All right. Enough for the shameless plug stuff. Let's get into the fourth and final step, which is how to actually create one. So I'm about to share my screen and I'm going to show you the exact step-by-step process on how to actually set up your LLC. All right, so go on to google.com. I already got it up here, and you're going to type in the name of any state that you're going to want to create the LLC in, and followed by the state, you're going to type in registered agent. So if you're in Texas or whatever, type in Texas registered agent, doesn't matter. I'm putting Wyoming registered agent because this is the one I use for my Motive Miggle LLC. So click on here. This is absolutely insane because a lot of companies, they'll try to charge you $100, bucks a year to create the LLC services. This is $25 for the year. You get 365 days of mail forwarding, and they're not going to try to upsell you. They do have other services that you can buy, but it's literally just $25 to get your LLC structured. They provide the mailing address, the principal address, the registered office, personal names, and your business. So let me break it down. When you pay this $25, you get to also get access to their mailing address. Now, because you have an address in Wyoming, you could legally have your LLC there. And because you have a registered agent who's representing you, now you get to benefit from all of Wyoming's friendly business laws, tax laws, and the location. So this is an absolute life hack. Make sure you're using it. All you got to do is click $25 for the registered agent, fill out all the information. Again, make sure when you're creating your name, make it generic, description generic, and have those preferred NAICS codes. Guys, I was gonna hook you up with that free gift, and now by using that formula state plus registered agent, you're gonna save hundreds of dollars on creating your LLC every year and getting it registered just by going through that registered agent. And if you're using the tax loopholes, then this is gonna be absolutely huge. You're gonna save a lot more money. So thanks for sticking to the very end. Let's talk about what we learned. In summary, we learned why we need to have an LLC, all the benefits. Even if you don't have a business, get it, because it's going to save you hundreds and thousands of dollars in taxes. It's going to protect you. We talked about what states are the best ones to open it. In it, we want to focus on states that are business friendly and tax friendly. We talked about the importance of NAICS codes, how that affects your level of risk depending on the industry you work in. And we talked about how to get around the system to be able to consider the minimum risk, even if you are a little higher. And then I walked you through on how to create one through the state plus registered agent formula. Now that is free game, and I'm super happy that you guys actually stuck it out to the very end to watch and see how this worked. I'm spitting out free game in hopes that one day you guys will work with me on the funding side. If you don't, I hope this still helped out and that you could start benefiting from these resources. And as usual, this is MTV. The M is for Miggle, money, motivation. Much love, peace out, stay beautiful. And yeah, but wait, there's more. I forgot. Y'all thought I was done with hooking you up, but no, I am not done on hooking you guys up. So if you don't know already, I just recently started a done for you model. And basically this done for you model is where I help fix people's FICO score. I do all the work for them, fix their FICO scores and get them funding, so you don't have to waste the time of making the mistakes and trying to learn it on your own and screwing yourself over. I take out all the headache. I fix your FICO, get you up above a 750. I start applying for business credit, get you over 100K. Easy. Since I'm just starting out, I'm going to be picking one person at random each month to get them their first round of funding absolutely free. So make sure to get in early before it gets too competitive and more people start joining and subscribing. All you got to do to qualify is subscribe to this YouTube, follow me on Instagram. I'll have the links down below. But if you got questions, I got answers, and I appreciate you guys for seeing the value in this. Love you guys.